I don't want to shit all over today's game, but yep, one more, and there we go. In today's humble opinion, we're drinking strange potions in Lost Castle. Don't you hate it when you wake up in the morning and you can't find your entire fucking castle? I swear it was all around me when I went to bed. Last time it happened to me, it just turned out I'd been sleepwalking, woke up the next village over, strapped to a stake in a sea of fire. They thought I was plagued by demons in my blood. Not the most awkward morning ever, but still pretty up there. When it comes to the name of this game, however, it means a different kind of loss. Specifically as in, I gambled my entire kingdom on my personal ability to control the powers of hell, but then Kabuterimon showed up, unleashed every demon, and I lost everything, including the castle. That's where you come in, the intrepid explorer, lured by the promise of riches to reclaim the throne from the forces of evil, right into the stupid yet waiting arms of the goblin army. I say stupid because they somehow managed to capture you and throw you in a cell, but they don't think to strip you of your weapon or bother to lock the door when they leave. But don't start thinking too lowly of them, because you couldn't even fight your way out of your own cage when you demonstrate clearly that you're more than capable of doing so later on. The battle for incompetence truly rages on. So what is Lost Castle? It's an intriguing blend of side-scrolling beat-em-up and roguelite genres with surprisingly compelling mechanics, and I say surprisingly because I mean, come on, look at it. No offense to the visual artists, of course, but these aren't the aesthetics one would expect from a game up for sale. The designs are clean, but simple and dare I say generic. It's about on par with what you would expect from your run-of-the-mill Flash game in the early 2000s. Even now it's used in games like Town of Salem, which isn't exactly dependent on animations or clear visual communication, so to me it would just make sense if someone were to take a look at some footage or a screenshot and say, you know what, not the game for me. But to those people, I have to utter the hackneyed idiom, you can't judge a hooker by the dead in her eyes. What the fuck did I just say? The truth is that Lost Castle is a ridiculously fun and addictive experience. It captures the essence of the roguelite genre while communicating it through the mechanics of another genre that hasn't been combined with it before. A lot like Rogue Legacy or The Binding of Isaac, only instead of being a platformer or a top-down twin stick, you've got mechanics that feel similar to Castle Crashers. And even in that regard, it mixes a lot of things up. Many side-scrolling beat-em-ups, Castle Crashers included, often feel like all of your combat options are more or less convenient reskins of the core mechanical pattern you follow regardless. Lost Castle, however, has so much diversity that Google should really consider hiring it to meet those quotas. Weapons fall into 7 main categories if I'm remembering all of them correctly, and they each have their own combo style, which isn't really all that fancy considering you just press the attack button repeatedly, but besides that, they each have a special action unique to that weapon category, and one of many weapon skills that can make that particular weapon unique. For instance, a wand that fires ice could have a flamethrower type special in which you have to stand still to deal damage, or it could conjure a giant crystal that fires extra bolts automatically. A lot of people seem to prefer the wand, but I'm currently favoring the bow as it seems to be the most fluid of all of them, letting you weave in a piercing shot in the middle of your combo or at the end of a flurry. You also have the sword and shield, which allow you to time offense and defense to minimize damage, or if you're feeling particularly cheeky, you can play a dual wielding character and attempt to avoid damage altogether by dodging behind the enemy to evade well telegraphed attacks. I'm not saying that every weapon choice makes it feel like an entirely new game, but there is enough of a difference to make it feel like your choice of weapon matters beyond the stats it provides. Then you have all of the different items and the enemies. There's even more than one potential boss for every floor you visit, so not even that's the same. And there's a new game plus that introduces even more enemies and bosses. Every time you load it up, it feels like a completely different experience, and a lot of the fun comes from trying to make whatever you manage to find work for you. For me, Lost Castle earns a solid 8 out of 10 for offering a deceptive amount of depth. It's not necessarily perfect in that even with its diversity, it doesn't manage to create an experience that feels completely randomized all the time. For instance, when you die, you'll respawn with a weapon at random. With a weapon at random. With a random weapon. With, there we go. And the potion guy you release from his cell seems to adamantly refuse to give you a positive potion. You're telling me that he doesn't know what potion he's making? Seems like he might have taken the potion of mouth breathing is all I'm saying. Despite minor gripes like that, what it does offer far outweighs them, both for the sheer amount of variety that it offers and for its skill tree that gives you a reason to play to the best of your ability even when you're dealt a mediocre hand. It's not always about winning the game necessarily, and sometimes getting far enough to afford some beneficial buffs is rewarding enough on its own. It's a fun game with fantastic design choices and offers a fair bit of challenge. And it's multiplayer, so you can play with your friends, though it's just as fun solo. Great game all around. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you Hunter Studio for taking the time to develop this game. It's well done and very polished. Even the style started to grow on me after a while. If you've enjoyed the review so far, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share the video. Until next time, remember that failure is not the worst case scenario, to glow on with your bad selves, and stay awesome.